Hey there, guys. Hey, before I go any further in this replay, I kind of apologize for this. I wanted, since we are done with another week in 1908, I wanted to talk about what the stats look like. We've played 2 games into the new week, so please bear in mind what's going on. I'm actually going to take a quick look and just see if my thing's going to, it looks like it is going to cooperate with me. So we'll try to get this set up so that this makes some sense. Now, it might require a little bit of finagling on my part, but whatever. We'll get this set up so that we can see what's going on. So we're going to go over here into the screen view very quickly. You can see I'm setting up the next game, but we're going to look first, of course, at the standings and let you see what's happening. I talk about this all the time. The American League is still really, really close. The Red Sox are, at the moment, half a game on top. I think it's because I played a Red Sox game the other day. Let me make sure of this. Yeah, they beat the Highlanders. That's right. And so the Red Sox are just a half game of whisker ahead of the Athletics. The Naps and Browns are both nipping on the heels of both of those clubs, very close. The White Sox are about 2.5, 3 games out. And then the Senators, Tigers, and Highlanders are starting to make up what can be considered the second division. The White Sox are not even a 500 team, though. That shows you how close this is. In the National League, it's been all Giants and all Cubs. The Cubs had a big lead at the beginning of the season, and as you just saw, just lost their last game and have some problems. The Giants are playing well now. They played poorly earlier in the season. The Pirates just came off of a 6-game series with the Cubs where they lost 3, won 2, and then lost the last one. And they're really struggling. 2-8 over their last 10 games, barely holding on at 500, and everybody else, of course, is down below, going all the way down to St. Louis, which is a really bad team in 1908. So, in case you were wondering, we are going to look up the 1908 National League and the 1908 American League. Apologies, I do this here off screen. And we'll get this set up a little bit so that we have something to look at. And you know what? It did this again. So it's not going to let me move this over. Well, if that's the case, we're going to do it the old-fashioned way here. We're just going to open up the browser window over here, and so you can see it. I prefer not to do this, and the reason why is, first of all, because the virtual machine is slow. This computer is not really designed to do all of the virtualization I've been doing, right? Remember, this is a 2019 iMac. And the other reason why I don't like doing this is because the textual quality is not quite the same here on the Windows side as it is on the Linux side. But we'll do what we have to do. And you can see me as I try to learn how to type. So in the American League in real life, there was close, as you know. The Tigers, Naps, and White Sox were close up there. The Browns had a good year. People forget about that. And then everybody else was kind of meh. So far, it's the Red Sox and Athletics who are playing well. So that's different. The National League, as you know, that was about the Giants and the Cubs, and the Pirates were up there as well in real life. So far, the Pirates have tailed off. Everybody else was meh. And like I said, the Cardinals were pretty bad. Let's just take a real quick look over here. We're going to look at the stats sort of in general. I'm not going to give you like the full the full rundown of everything. That's on the blog if you want to see. Just so you know, because I know you're curious, right? Gessler for the Red Sox hitting 398. That's followed by Clark with the Naps, Niles with the Highlanders. These averages are still a little bit high. They're going to come down. Harry Niles has 5 home runs, and that's a pretty interesting thing, right? So if we look at Niles, Harry Niles, there he is. Not a lot of guys named Niles, interesting in Major League history. In real life, in 1908, he actually was with the Highlanders and then went over to the Red Sox, and he hit 4 home runs with the Highlanders and 1 with the Red Sox. So he's already hit his 5 home runs. We're only in like early May, right? Interesting stuff. Does it mean something? Does it not mean something? It doesn't really mean much, but he does have a chance to hit more home runs in this season than he hit in his entire career, which is kind of funny. We'll see what happens. Stuff like this happens when you're playing with seasons like 1908, you know, and especially early on. The National League, Tim Jordan had 12 home runs in real life. We won't bother to look that up. It should be common knowledge, right? Tim Jordan is leading with 3 home runs in the National League, and so everything there is pretty much on pace. And then Roger Bresnahan, of course, is still hitting leadoff for the Giants. Mike Donlin is playing really well for them. This is kind of what you would expect. This leaderboard is where you would expect it to be. So As far as pitching leaders are concerned, I mean, Cy Young, the ERAs for guys like Cy Young are low. This will rise over time as they have more reps, more sample, and stuff like that. You'll notice that Ed Walsh, who is leading the league in strikeouts, is not and has 4 wins, so is up there among the leaders. He's not listed here. You'll notice that, right? It's because I'm starting him more than normal. I'm trying to emulate what happened in the rotation in real life, and I don't know if he's actually going to win 40 games or not. He could. I kind of doubt it. The way that the White Sox have been playing so far, I don't see it happening. And the problem is without him, I mean, they probably will not be competitive. Anyway, the National League, more of the same, low ERAs. Not really too much to say here. Matheson has 6 wins. Don't think anybody's surprised about that. So there you go. That's sort of that information. Now we're going to get to the good stuff, right? So we want to look at the team batting stats here in the American League. The thing that we care about here is not the raw numbers. We care about these 3. Why do we care? Oh, and look, my head is in the way. You can't even see what I'm pointing at. We care about these 3 here: batting average, on base percentage, and slugging percentage. Why do we care about those 3 and we don't care so much about the counting statistics? The reason why we care about those 3 is because these 3 are going to give us a hint as to how the replay is going, how the engine is working, right? We want these 3 to be about right, and in theory, if these 3 are right, runs scored will be about right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and do calculations and say what pace we're on for the runs scored, right? I'm just going to look at these 3, right? We'll worry about this. We'll worry about like stolen bases, caught stealing, hit by pitchers and stuff. We'll worry about all that stuff when the season's over, right? Right now, it's too early to say because those are counting statistics, right? And weird things can happen, with the probabilities. But these numbers really, ideally, should be just about right. And when we go down to standard batting in the American League, you can see this, right? Yes, you can, despite the logo here. Ugly, ugly, ugly. What we see is that we're right on. Batting average in the replay is 238. In the real life, it's 239. On base percentage, 294 to 294. Slugging percentage, 305 to 304. This is one of the closest things I've ever seen in a replay at this level. I mean, this is so close. It's amazing. Those of you who have done replays before, like by hand, know that usually you end up with a lot of discrepancies. Here, the American League is just like right on. It's amazing. It really is amazing. I'm just over the moon with this. Well, look at the National League. Now, so you know I'm not cheating. The National League's not quite the same level of amazing. So we go get the team stats. Again, we're only going to focus on those 3. Real life, the National League also hit 239. It's amazing that happened, right? That the batting average is the same in both leagues. In the replay, it's 229. So the National League is running a little pitcher heavy. On base percentage in real life, 299 compared to 285. I mean, it's close, right? Slugging percentage in real life was 306 compared to 296 in the replay. So the National League's running a little bit cold, but I mean, it's close, right? We're in the same ballpark. If you've ever done the APBA replay for 1908 using the APBA season, you know why I'm saying it's in the same ballpark, right? Yeah. Let's look at pitching. So the ERA we'll talk about. I have a problem with ERA in general with like the measure, but we'll talk about this anyway because most people would look at this, right? I know some of you sabermetricians are going to start yelling at me, whatever. You go to the comments, you can yell about how ERA isn't anything, blah, blah, blah. I get you guys on Twitter too. American League ERA in real life was 2.24, and that is ERA, by the way, here. I'm sorry, that is not. That's FIP. Here's ERA. It's over here, 2.39. And the replay is 2.28. So that's mostly caused, I think, by unearned runs. The thing that I care about most, so we know the batting average is right on. The thing I care about most is the walks and hits per innings pitched. In real life, it was 1.133. In the replay, it's 1.15. I care a lot about this because what are the ingredients of scoring runs? It's getting players on base, right? Walks and hits per innings pitched is a great estimate of looking at how many guys the pitchers are letting on base, right? I know it doesn't count all the stuff, doesn't count the errors, doesn't count the whatever, the catcher's interference or whatever, but it's a pretty good estimate, and it's a quick and dirty thing that we can look at really quickly and say, yeah, this is really close to where it is in real life. Now, or where it was in real life. Now we'll look at the National League. And when we go to the National League and take a look at this, what we see is that the ERA in the National League is 2.38 compared to 2.35 in real life, which is really close. Again, it's amazingly close. Let me refer again to the old APBA 1908 season, right? I don't know what their new revised season is like. I'm pretty sure they did a revision at some point in time. But if you look at that old season from the late 70s, man, this is like night and day. I'm telling you, this is getting right where we need it to be. And the whip, in real life, 1.141, in Diamond Mine, 1.10. It is within 400ths, right? That's amazing. That's very, very much amazing that it would be within, 400ths of a percent. So, or 400ths of a full number, 4%. All right, so that shows just how close we are in this replay. We're going to sort of end it there. Like, I could talk with you about fielding statistics as well, but that would require me to actually do math. I'm not going to go do math in front of you. I was helping my daughter with math last night, and we got some of the questions wrong, but some of them I didn't get. Or some of the questions right. I mean, some of them I got wrong, and I've had enough embarrassment mathematically, I think, for 1 week. But just so you know, like, this is working quite well. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to play with NP3. I know that you might have criticisms of the system. I have criticisms of the computer game. But like the truth is that the system works really well. It's surprising how well this works given what the setup of this game is. In fact, I would wager that if you went with OOTP or with Diamond Mine Baseball or with Action PC Baseball and played a full 1908 season, you would not get the numbers on as well as NP3 gets them. There are reasons behind this. Some of the reasons are things we know about. Some of them are things we don't know about, right? A lot of the videos I talk about, a lot of the stuff where I've got pushback on, no, we have to have park effects and we have to have this and that. The reason why I'm talking about this is because there are ways you can get the stats on right, the way that makes, the replayer's heart feel just bright and lively and bubbly. There are ways you can get those stats right without having all of the extras and bells and whistles. In fact, sometimes the bells and whistles will put you off the scent. Anyway, I've said too much. I've exposed too much to you, and we'll talk again tomorrow. We'll have probably a little more lighthearted video tomorrow for the afternoon one. I'll talk with you again later. See you then. Bye-bye.